Hey guys, Chicky DeMaine, Debut.com with the Debut.com Surf Forecast Update. This forecast update effective around 11:15 Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, July 30th, 2016. And guys, we're one day away from closing out July of 2016 Atlantic Tropical Cyclone season. And unless something miraculous happens overnight, it looks like we're going to close out the season or the month of July with two invests, 97L and 96L. Both are still out there. 97L, the one closest to the islands, and 96L southwest of the Cape Verde Islands. I'm going to start you off with an image, typical August tracks for tropical systems. And going back a couple of weeks, recapping that last east-southeast swell that we had, this is where we picked up a couple of weeks ago that we were under a pattern change, and it was a typical start of August, although August 1st is 2 days away. But as you can see, this white line going in here through the Eastern Caribbean, over towards the Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. Then you'll also notice another white line that splits off and goes northwest, north of Puerto Rico into Florida, and then another one that kind of hooks. So early in August, we typically see this white line. As we progress into middle of August and late August, that's when this kind of hooking motion starts to come in, because you have fronts that start to work their way in and push these areas of low pressure back out towards the North Atlantic, giving them that curvature. Going to start you off with a single satellite imagery showing you 97L invest right in here. And when we talk about a broad area of low pressure, this is basically the counterclockwise rotation of the whole envelope. So this is a broad area, although the main wave axis, now keep in mind this is still a tropical wave, main wave axis located right in here, and the northern extension is up in here. Now that's what happened last time with that east-southeast swell. It was the first tropical energies that were lifting north of Puerto Rico with high pressure building in behind that northern extension, getting some east-southeast swell going. In order to get ground swell going, you got to get something to develop in here, and then it's the hooking motion on the backside that produces the east-southeast ground swell when a tropical system develops. Right now, we just got some winds, so it's going to be wind swell, no ground swell, unless we can get something to develop. That east-southeast will open up when this system crosses up under Puerto Rico, because this elbow in here now will be on the backside of Puerto Rico. But what we're watching is the 15 latitude line runs right through the center of this convection. Anything that lifts north of 15 in here is not going to go back below 15. It's going to lift off this way. And if you go back and look, right now models are taking 97L, bulk of the main wave axis and energy, and moving it through the Eastern Caribbean, over here to the Western Caribbean, and then off into the Bay of Campeche, where we may see it try and spin up. Right now, there's no development anticipated with 97L, unless you get the fork in the road here, that's going back a couple of weeks ago, or explanation a couple of weeks ago, and a piece of energy in this northern extension can break off from the main wave axis and then move in here to the Bahamas and get a chance to spin up or move through the Florida Straits, as we just illustrated with your August tracks through here. Go back to this image, because the other player that's on the board, there's an upper level low and trough feature that's in here. So this is spinning like this. This trough in here is trying to get going, and that's one of the reasons why this is probably going to get caught, at least the main wave axis, get caught in the easterly trade wind flow, because it's moving so quickly. Had it been a little slower, the better chances you get something to break off in here north of the islands, and we still can't rule that out yet. We'll know in about the next 24 to 48 hours what happens here. But the most likely track is off towards the west. Get in here and then start to get a little bit better defined. I don't know if it's going to interact with this upper level low in here, but it is trying to get it going, and then off to the Bay of Campeche. Going to put it in motion for you. And again, here's that upper level low over here over Hispaniola and the eastern end of Cuba, and this trough that's kind of lifting. But look how high pressure now And that's that easterly swell that's going to start to develop in here. It's just reaching north of Puerto Rico, or just about to this line right here, as this high pressure starts to build in. And then here comes that east-southeast. So northeast winds are in here on the equator buoys in here. And then that's going to switch to east-southeast as this wave pushes off and progresses that way. St. Martin's buoy up in here just northeast of the Virgin Islands. Currently east winds 20-25 knots. Seas have increased to 9 feet. The PR buoy right in here, east winds 20-25 knots and seas have increased to 6 feet. Looks like max seas are going to hold probably about 10 feet in here north of Hispaniola and north of Puerto Rico. Latest 48-hour wind wave forecast showing seas 8 to 10 feet north of Puerto Rico, northeast of Hispaniola in here, and then 5 to 8 feet from probably lat 30 on down into here, central Bahamas over in the left-hand portion, top portion of your screen. Latest 96-hour swell forecast showing 10-second periods, images for Tuesday. So looks like bulk of wave energy again coming Tuesday into Wednesday, and then starting to slide off. I'm gonna move this image over just a little bit. As you can see, we talked about in our last video update, a nice east-southeast fetch opening up. This is easterly trade wind flow all the way over from Africa, all the way across Puerto Rico, or north of Puerto Rico, and then that bend into the southeast U.S. Latest 96-hour surface forecast out of the Ocean Prediction Center showing an area of low pressure moving off New England in here, associated with a front. For those of you that saw our image we posted yesterday about some northeast winds cranking up, there is a possibility that this area of low pressure may detach from the front and start to spin out here. High pressure building down in on top of that, turning winds out of the northeast, possibly giving some relief to mid-Atlantic states and surf spots through New England behind some northeast flow as this low begins to drift off. Not 100% confident in that yet, guys. The models are kind of vacillating, but if the models were to hold true, it's possible to mix some northeast swell behind this departing low and high pressure building in and continued east-southeast wind swell, hopefully some ground swell with 96L, the one that's southwest of the Cape Verde Islands, starting to slide out more towards the central Atlantic. That's all we got for you for now, guys. Stay tuned for the next update.